From MTN News, you're watching Montana This Morning.
I'm Sam Hoyle in Helena. How does the student loan forgiveness program affect colleges in Montana, both private and public? We'll take a look coming up.
In the wake of a recent tragedy, health officials in Butte want to remind people about the dangers of drug overdose.
I'm Joe St. George in Washington. Crime is expected to be a big issue on the minds of voters this November. So how do Democrats and Republicans differ on policies for the future? We break it down next.
6:31 on this Thursday. Chad Lehman, Matt Elwell with you here. A few clouds in the sky that are just there for decoration, apparently.
Yeah, we're not going to see much rain. Atmosphere is very dry. Even if there's some rain falling from it, we're talking a few drips and drops. Everything's evaporating if we see anything at all. Temperatures this morning, relatively warm. A lot of 50s across the area, 41 in West Yellowstone. You look at the daytime highs today, we're talking upper 80s and low 90s. The difference between yesterday and today is about 2 degrees and about 20 miles an hour with the wind. We'll, of course, break down our forecast, talk about the impacts for the weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Matt. 6:32. Heads up to our viewers in Butte this morning. A fiber optic line out near Anaconda damaged, affecting phone service in Butte and Silver Bow area. We are told by Butte Silver Bow Emergency Management that calling 911 is sporadically working, but texting 911 currently is working. So if you do have an emergency, you're asked if you can to text it to 911. That service currently working. Jefferson County helping with 911 where they can, but until that fiber optic line is repaired, phone service is under disruption in Butte this morning. Other news, after the Biden administration announced it would be partially forgiving student loans, how does that affect colleges in Montana, and what questions do they have following the announcement? MTN's Sam Hoyle spoke with representatives for both public and private colleges to find out.
As college students all across the U.S. were preparing to return to campus or were already on campus, the Biden administration announced that it would be forgiving up to $10,000 in student loans for borrowers, and in some cases up to $20,000. But it raises questions. Who does this affect in Montana? How does it affect colleges in Montana, and what questions do they have? Well, according to the financial aid director at Carroll College, it will affect some current students, but mostly past students, and it raises a lot more questions than they have answers to.
With the decision coming down, it does impact current students if their loans were dispersed prior to June of 22. There's a laundry list of questions that are already started on our National Association site, and some of the questions involve dependent students whose parents had a Parent Plus loan, whose Pell Grant eligibility is it tied to? Is it tied to the student? Is it tied to the parent? So a lot of detailed questions that haven't even been thought of probably by many.
According to studentaid.gov, over 40 million Americans have student loans, averaging about $37,000 per borrower. At Helena College, it's a similar sentiment. According to their dean and CEO, while there are still questions, they look forward to helping students find out those answers when they become available.
What we're anticipating based on the announcement is that students will have questions about whether or not they received Pell Grant while they were students at Helena College, so that we can help direct them to the right resources. And our financial aid team is set and ready to make sure that they're directing the students to the appropriate experts to answer all of their questions.
Currently, applications for the student loan forgiveness plan are not open, but updates on the plan can be found on the U.S. Department of Education's website. In Helena, Sam Hoyle, MTN News.
All right, thank you, Sam. 6:35 now. It's poised to be one of the biggest issues in this year's midterm election. How our elected leaders plan on responding to the rise in crime in many parts of the country. Our Joe St. George takes a look at each party's plan to help you decide who best represents you as we get closer to that midterm election.
It took me 2 years to come back to this exact spot.
This intersection near Norfolk State and Virginia may not mean much to you.
The police never caught the person who shot us.
But for Cameron Bertrand and Dorian Jackson, it's a place that changed their lives.
We hear that gun cop.
It's where they were shot by a thief back in 2015.
He had the gun pointed at us and he was like, you know what time it is, run it. For those who don't know what that means empty your pockets.
We're having a conversation. We're both shot here.
Shot right here.
Not to redocument their injuries.
If I had went 1 millimeter to the left, you and I would have never met, Joe.
But to learn their perspective about violent crime today. Has gun violence gotten worse?
Yeah.
It has. They call it Shark City. because the mindset for most people is eat or be eaten.
Both men have worked to move past their injuries by creating nonprofits and a survivor network. But they haven't forgotten.
When I seen his eyes, I knew that wasn't something he wanted to do, you know, because he was trembling.
And they aren't alone. Cities like Denver, Milwaukee, and Baltimore could all shatter their homicide records in 2022. And while not every city is seeing a spike in crime with the midterm election on the horizon, polls indicate violence is a top issue on voters' minds. Leaders in both parties scrambling to get it under control.
Fund the police.
President Joe Biden delivered a speech on Tuesday calling for more police funding. Last month,
I have to do this.
Republican Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida suspended a prosecutor in the Tampa area over concerns he was being too soft on criminals. So how do Republicans and Democrats differ when it comes to crime response? Leaders in both parties appear supportive of increases in funding to hire police. President Biden wants 100,000 new officers, for instance, and both parties are interested in violence prevention programs. But that's where the similarities end. Republicans, if they take back control of Congress, want to focus on stricter penalties for breaking the law. Democrats, meanwhile, want to focus on gun control to limit the guns on America's streets.
They're unfamiliar. They have no rapport.
As for Cameron and Dorian, they say hiring more cops may sound great on paper, but unless the new recruits actually know and care about the communities they serve, their view is little will change. Trust and hope remain a big issue in some of our country's most violent areas.
But there has to be a rapport before you can actually come in and serve. We have young, good people who don't want to carry guns, that feel like they have to.
In Norfolk, Virginia, I'm Joe St. George.
All right, 6:37 back here at home. Yesterday, International Overdose Awareness Day. It's also the day Butte Cares and the Health Department launched a program to fight opioid addiction and drug overdoses in that community. TN's John Amy picks up the story.
Signs like these are all over Butte to remind people of the dangers of opioid addiction and the growing problem of drug overdose deaths.
We are seeing a lot of increased drug use, hearing a lot about it, and unfortunately, along with that comes overdoses, accidental deaths from it.
The group Butte Cares teamed up with the Butte Health Department to find solutions to the problem of opioid drug addiction and overdose. The recent overdose death of a 17-year-old boy who mixed MDMA with psychedelic drugs at a gathering of other teens at Delmo Lake has made this message even more relevant.
It's heartbreaking. It just makes you sick, to know, that such young lives are, just destroyed like that.
The health department is joining the fight against opioid overdose, and its most effective weapon, Narcan. Butte is giving away Narcan to citizens and organizations. This substance can be used to counter an opioid overdose.
It's the difference between somebody surviving an overdose and dying from it.
So I'm playing the part of somebody who's going through an opioid overdose, and Tasha here is just a citizen who happens to have Narcan.
So John, he's not responsive, his head is rolling around, his eyes are rolling in the back of his head. We're gonna go ahead and give him the nasal Narcan, give him a few seconds to see if it kicks in. If not, definitely go for a second dose, but make sure you call 911 first.
And the best thing about this is with just a simple little bit of training, you can actually use the Narcan and save somebody's life.
We visit with folks on a weekly basis, and we know that it is being used in the community and it's saving lives.
All right, 6:40 now. First, school boards across America turned into battlegrounds over whether or not to teach critical race theory. Now, sex education has become the next target. Investigative reporter Mark Greenblatt has discovered groups want to eliminate something advocates who monitor sexual violence say is critical to teach students about: consent.
And we have taken our message to the national level.
The nonprofit Parents' Rights in Education wants education about safe sex out of schools. And like a growing number of groups nationally, wants to end school lessons on consent.
It's setting students up to be accepting of sexual advances from anyone. That goes against the values of many families.
The organization's website also says teaching consent undermines any semblance of an abstinence message. That's where 17-year-old Kenya Gonzalez goes to school.
They don't teach consent, which is horrible, because I know people who didn't know they have been sexually assaulted.
Here's what we do know. In 2019, the CDC surveyed over 1,200 high school senior girls. They found nearly 1 in 7 of these girls nationwide say they have been physically forced into sex at some point in their lives. And of the 15 U.S. states with the highest teen birth rates, a Newsy analysis found 12 teaching abstinence. Only 2 require teaching about consent. But we discovered it's no accident Kenya and her classmates won't be learning about consent. Records we uncovered show how the Texas Association Against Sexual Assault and a medical association representing more than 50,000 Texas doctors pushed the Texas State Board of Education to begin teaching consent to children for this school year. But when a group called the Medical Institute for Sexual Health expressed opposition to any efforts to teach the topic, the state board ruled it agrees with them and has determined that sexual consent was not appropriate. Instead of consent, Texas chose to teach personal boundaries and refusal skills at some grade levels.
Instead of putting the blame where it belongs on the perpetrator, the victim takes on that responsibility.
Shale Norris runs Safe Bay, a national advocacy group working to prevent sexual violence in teens.
You are also putting them at risk of death, actual suicide, if they are victimized and they feel responsible.
Which is why many advocates say it's important to teach consent early, starting with kindergartners learning that it's okay to say yes or no to any interaction, like holding hands or hugs. We asked the Medical Institute if it would support non-sexual lessons or any lessons about consent. And they said through a PR firm, the organization believes that school-age children understand the meaning of yes and no. The answer should be no. But so far, many students in Texas are not saying no. A 2019 CDC survey of Texas youth showed nearly 2/3 of high school seniors reporting having had sex, and the state tops the nation in repeat teen pregnancies.
I want age-appropriate sex ed and consent taught from elementary all the way to high schools.
I'm Mark Greenblatt in Washington.
All right, 6:43 now, time for a break here on Montana This Morning.